Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Kendra. Shout out to Skylar. Shout out to write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Giselle. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Grace. Shout out to Alyssa. Shout out to Darlet. Shout out to Kimberly. Shout out to Yas. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Ruhi. Shout out to Hannah. Shout out to Kelsey. Welcome everyone. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Melissa. Shout out to Hassan. Shout out to Matthew. Shout out to Kobe. Shout out to Alina. Shout out to Kenzie. Oh, shout out to Ben. Sorry, I tried to go in order. Shout out to Kenzie. Shout out to Vincent. Shout out to Stella. Happy birthday. Shout out to Manny. Shout out to Kenzie, I got you. Shout out to Ashton. Excuse me. Shout out to Lexi. Welcome everyone. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Yair. Shout out to Madeline. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Harry Pada. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Harry Pada. Thank you so much for your support. Shout out to Mika. Shout out to Hayden. Shout out to Blake. Shout out to Nelly. Shout out to Isabella. Shout out to Liam. Shout out to Violet. Shout out to Demi. Shout out to Piero. Shout out to Ritak. Shout out to Alize. Shout out to Silas. Shout out to Landon. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Mercy. Shout out to Wyatt. Shout out to Carson. Shout out to is it Iran? Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Genesis. Shout out to Jarrell. Shout out to Anna. Hello everyone, welcome. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the live stream. Shout out to Scarlett. Shout out to Caroline. I live stream every day around the same time as this. Shout out to Josiah. Shout out to Liz. Shout out to Danielle. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining. Shout out to Dune. Shout out to Leslie. Shout out to Soul. Shout out to Braylee. I'm so sorry, the chat goes really fast. Shout out to Rylan. Shout out to Kendall. Shout out to Hailey, or Haley, sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Daylani. Shout out to Ambit. Shout out to Josie. Shout out to Roxana. I'm so sorry if I haven't gotten to you. Shout out to Emmy. Thank you for your patience. Shout out to Ailey. Shout out to Carly. Shout out to Jonathan. Shout out to Ozzy. Shout out to Memphis. Shout out to Nova. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Katie. Shout out to Soon Min. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Lindsay. Shout out to Sky. Shout out to Dallas. Shout out to Rowan. Shout out to Lee. Shout out to Sydney. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Sydney. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Cora. Shout out to Libby. Shout out to Soliana. Shout out to Andre. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to, was it Kale? Shout out to Emery. Whoops, I messed up. Shout out to Marla. Shout out to Emery. Shout out to Ashlyn. Shout out to Megan. Shout out to Chanel, or Chanel. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Scarlett. Shout out to Randall. Shout out to May. Shout out to Malachi. Shout out to Noah. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Logan. Happy birthday. Shout out to Alora. Shout out to Oliver. Shout out to Zoe. Shout out to Daria. Shout out to Jesus. Shout out to Miranda. Shout out to Mila. Shout out to Fishwad. Shout out to London. Shout out to Paisley. Shout out to Luana. Shout out to these people. On to the next page. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. I live stream every day around the same time as this. Also check out my channel. I post other content as well. I hope you can check it out and support my channel. I would truly appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Tamika. Shout out to Jada. Shout out to Savannah. Shout out to Chloe. Shout out to Jack. Shout out to Mateo. Shout out to Peyton. Shout out to Leah. Shout out to Genevieve. Shout out to Kingston. Shout out to, excuse me, Andre. Shout out to Alexis. Shout out to Tegan. Shout out to Kimberly. Shout out to Fatima. Shout out to Luca. Shout out to Jessica. Shout out to Sydney. Shout out to Chatney. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Rashana. Shout out to Destiny. Shout out to Damien. Shout out to Addie. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Sanjay. Shout out to Kaylee. Shout out to Anna. Shout out to Noah. Shout out to Victor. Shout out to Jimena. Shout out to Juliana. Shout out to Kevin. Shout out to Elizabeth. Happy birthday. Shout out to Nayeli. Shout out to Brooklyn. Shout out to Emmy. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Liam. Shout out to Miguel. Shout out to Angie. Shout out to Penelope. Shout out to Yelena. Shout out to Maddie. Shout out to Jaina. Shout out to Clarabelle. Shout out to Blossom. Shout out to Paisley. Shout out to Casey. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Willa. Shout out to Vanessa. Shout out to Vivi. Shout out to Valeria. Shout out to Justin. Shout out to Shane. Shout out to Natalie. Shout out to Dave or Dev. Shout out to Maya. Shout out to Helen. Shout out to Michaela. Shout out to Messy Jessie. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Imran. Shout out to Tinley. Shout out to Ren. Shout out to Ariana Grande. Shout out to Annie. Shout out to Desiree. Shout out to Ivani. Shout out to Mayer. Shout out to Austin. Shout out to Summer. Shout out to Deleza. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Selena. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Jalen. Shout out to Phoenix. Shout out to Emery. Shout out to Marina. Shout out to Roxana. Shout out to Samir. Shout out to Jaden. Shout out to Ash. Shout out to Anaya. Ania, sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Lenny. Shout out to Sunny. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Maddie. Shout out to Elizabeth. Shout out to Rylan. Shout out to Kay. Shout out to Ariam. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Willow. Oh, what was it? Will? Sorry. Shout out to Will. Shout out to Asher. Shout out to Ronaldo. Shout out to Serenity. Shout out to Scarlett. Shout out to these people. On to the next page. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. I also post other content. For example, I do tutorials like these. I hope you can check them out, especially with Valentine's Day coming up. If you want to make like a Valentine card for your friends or your sister or brother or cousin or mom or dad or someone, I do tutorials like this. I hope you can check it out and support my channel. I would truly appreciate it. It means a lot to me having you here. Thank you, thank you. I also do birthday cards as well. I hope you can check them out. I do different kinds of birthday cards. I hope you can check it out. Please check out my channel. I would truly appreciate it. And leave some likes around. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking the time to write your name. And I'm so sorry if I haven't gotten to you. Shout out to Vanessa. Thank you so much for subscribing. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Nico. Shout out to Avery. Shout out to Mateo. Shout out to Naomi. Shout out to Kaylee. Shout out to Kaylin. Shout out to Jaden. Shout out to Jackson. Shout out to Daniel. Shout out to Will. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Jude. Shout out to Everly. Shout out to Sandy. Shout out to Dustin. Shout out to Heather. Shout out to Angel. Shout out to Gavin. Shout out to Brooklyn. Shout out to Cooper. Shout out to Maya. Shout out to Stella. Shout out to Janaya. Shout out to Lane. Shout out to Gabby. Oh wait, how do you spell Gabby? Oh yeah. Shout out to Amber. Shout out to Gloria. Shout out to Jakayla. Shout out to Naomi. Shout out to Sarah. Shout out to Aaliyah. Shout out to Pearl. Shout out to Thomas. Shout out to Cheesy. Shout out to Audrey. Shout out to Cynthia. Shout out to Jolene. Or Jalen. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Adelie. Shout out to Jacaden. Shout out to Lakeisha. Shout out to Carolina. Shout out to Storm. Storm, what was it? Shout out to Imran. Shout out to Beverly. Shout out to Matthias. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Isaiah. Shout out to Lisa. Shout out to Riley. Shout out to Julietta. Shout out to Eliani. Shout out to Gianni. Shout out to Cadence. Shout out to Wyatt. Shout out to Carson. Shout out to Owen. Shout out to Hannah. Shout out to Flora. Shout out to Jeremiah. Shout out to Elise. Shout out to Dave. Shout out to Josue. Shout out to Luigi. Shout out to Emma. Shout out to Leela. Shout out to Kale. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Teresa. Shout out to Amber. Shout out to Erica. Shout out to Eliza. Shout out to Lemaya. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Josephine. Shout out to Melania. Shout out to Bobber. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Naomi. Shout out to Dahlia. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Ariana. Shout out to Jack. Shout out to Ember. Or what is it? Can you write your name again? I'm so sorry. Shout out to Peyton. Shout out to King. Shout out to Jaisley. Jaisley. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Isaac. Shout out to Seamus. Shout out to Bart. Shout out to, thank you, Dahlia. Shout out to Arisa. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Jocelyn. Shout out to Edward. Shout out to Miranda. Shout out to Christopher. Shout out to May, sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Valentina. Shout out to these people. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the live stream. On to the next page. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. I live stream every day around the same time as this. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. I'm so sorry if I haven't gotten to your name. Shout out to Alexa. Shout out to Addie. I don't think I spelled it right. Yeah, shout out to Addie. There we go. Shout out to Phoenix. Shout out to Eliani. Shout out to Mateo Diaz. Shout out to Destiny. Shout out to Shirzad. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Nolan. Grayson. Shout out to Rich. Shout out to Brody. Shout out to Nicole. Shout out to Alexia. Shout out to Drake. Shout out to Maya. Shout out to Cora. Shout out to Shoshana. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Naomi. Shout out to Melanie. Shout out to Miriam. Shout out to Harvey. Shout out to, oh, sorry, the live stream goes fast sometimes. Shout out to Esme. Shout out to Daisy. Shout out to Eleonora. Shout out to Bethany. Shout out to Nathan. Shout out to Sawyer. Shout out to Wilsa? Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Xavier. Shout out to Bianca. Shout out to Leanna. Shout out to Nevaeh. Shout out to Zayella. Shout out to Pietro. Shout out to Allison. Shout out to Mia. Shout out to Alejandro. Shout out to Ceci. Shout out to Simon. Shout out to Augie. Shout out to Olivia. Shout out to Aisha. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Amai. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Arthur. Shout out to Naya. Leave a like if you're enjoying the shout outs. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Jayla. Shout out to Mila. Shout out to Vivian. Shout out to London. Shout out to Angie. Shout out to Alina. Shout out to Kate Cruz. Oh, Mila. Shout out to Mila. Thank you for showing me how to pronounce your name. Shout out to Ryan. Shout out to Riley. Shout out to Amai. Shout out to Natalie. Shout out to Leland. Shout out to Jackson. Shout out to Genesis. Shout out to Noah. Shout out to Anna. Shout out to Star. Shout out to Parker. Shout out to Victoria. Shout out to Opal. Shout out to Selena. Shout out to Tori. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Bait. Shout out to Brisady. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Dylan. Shout out to Alani's. Shout out to Liam. Shout out to Braxton. Shout out to Summer. Shout out to Cynthia. Whoopsie, I messed up. Shout out to Amelia. Shout out to Jessica. Shout out to Roman. Shout out to Blair. Shout out to, whoops, I messed up. I'm gonna write Blair again, I messed up. Shout out to In Another Life. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Another Life. Thank you for your support. Shout out to In Another Life. Shout out to Desmond. Shout out to Brayley. Shout out to Neng. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Andrea. Shout out to Anna. Shout out to Ren. Shout out to Zainab. Shout out to these people. On to the next page. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the live stream. I live stream every day around the same time as this. I hope you can subscribe to support my channel. I would truly appreciate it. Your support means a lot to me. Thank you for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Nathan. Shout out to Lincoln. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Samaraya. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Xavier. Shout out to Emery. Shout out to Kingston. Shout out to Xavier. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Zioda. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Remy. Shout out to Bronx. Shout out to Aisha. Thank you for your patience. I'm so sorry. Shout out to Abdullah. Shout out to Soraya. Shout out to Santos. Shout out to Zaria. Shout out to Michaela. Shout out to Izzy. Shout out to Alina. Shout out to Sydney. Shout out to Savi. Shout out to Nicole. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Landon. Shout out to Alyssa. Shout out to Rogan. Shout out to Elijah. Shout out to Eliami. Shout out to Jenna. Shout out to Mocha. Shout out to Roy. Shout out to Emma. Shout out to Azia. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Yara. Shout out to Kendall. Shout out to Layla. Shout out to Bianca. Shout out to Vino. Shout out to Sarah. Shout out to Reese. Shout out to Zach. Shout out to Ivana. Shout out to Dakota. Shout out to Vi. Hervé. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Soraya. Shout out to JC. Shout out to Yoon or Yun. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Cassie. Shout out to Luz. Shout out to Mo. Shout out to Zoe. Shout out to Mino. Shout out to Logan. Shout out to Bronson. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Indiana. Shout out to Elena. Shout out to Aubrey. Shout out to Adeline. Shout out to Blade. Shout out to Nat. Shout out to Katie. Shout out to Toki. Shout out to, is it Meeking? Shout out to Sawyer. Shout out to Arsalan. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Marianne. Shout out to Violet. Shout out to Alessandra. Shout out to Amina. Excuse me. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Ciaro or Kiaro. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Jimena. Shout out to Gabby. Shout out to Karen. Shout out to Ayla or Isla. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Brielle. Shout out to Leah. Shout out to Ali. Shout out to Valeria. Shout out to Tammy. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Darcy. Shout out to Adeline. Shout out to Jask. Shout out to Miles. Shout out to Zafira. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Shaban. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Simran. Shout out to Kirsty. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Logan. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Hunter. Shout out to James. Shout out to Anna. Shout out to Amanda. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to these people. On to the next page. Thank you so much for being here. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the live stream. I live stream around the same time as this every day. I hope you can subscribe to support my channel. I also post other content. I hope you can check it out as well. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Christy Sackett. Thank you so much. Shout out to Christy. Thank you. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Elizabeth Miller. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Elizabeth Miller. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Aiden Lasky. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Mia. Shout out to Yesenia. Shout out to Jevin. Shout out to Zach. Shout out to Celeste. Shout out to Kalia. Shout out to Umaiza, or Umeza, sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Shay. Shout out to Aranza. Shout out to Gennaro. Shout out to Refa. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Sawyer. Shout out to Angelina. Shout out to Devin. Shout out to Alexia. Shout out to Grayson. Shout out to Gage. Shout out to Shahir. Shout out to Luna. Shout out to Alexander. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Alina. Shout out to Gianna. Shout out to Vanshika. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Ishal. Shout out to Isabella. Shout out to Corinne. Shout out to Nash. Shout out to Zainab. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Bryson. Shout out to Victor. Shout out to Fatima. Shout out to Elijah. Shout out to Kayla. Or Kyla, sorry. Shout out to Haley. Shout out to Grant. Shout out to Elena. Shout out to Journey. Shout out to Raina. Shout out to Rashid. Shout out to Jacob. Shout out to Jerusha. Shout out to Samia or Samaya. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Rain. Shout out to Seo Yun. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Adrian. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Jocelyn. Shout out to Jackson. Shout out to Enrique. Shout out to Tristan. Shout out to Adelina. Shout out to Penelope. Shout out to Alexis. Shout out to Parties. Shout out to Kaylee. Shout out to Serenity. Shout out to Zaylee. Shout out to Bismarck. Shout out to Martina. Shout out to Arthur. Shout out to Soraya. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Marion. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Ivana. Shout out to Daisy. Shout out to Jose. Thank you. Excuse me. Sorry. Shout out to Scarlett. Shout out to Dream Roos. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Dream Roos. Shout out to Dream. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Chapman. Shout out to Kyler. Shout out to Nino. Shout out to SJ. Shout out to Presley. Shout out to Isabella. Shout out to Ephraim. Shout out to Brandon. Shout out to Willow. Shout out to Julie. Shout out to Avery. Shout out to Aiden. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Sarah. Shout out to Jacob. Shout out to Lavina. Shout out to David. Shout out to Destiny. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Sabrina. Shout out to Kamoya. Shout out to Amber. Shout out to Giot. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to these people. On to the next page. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. I live stream every day around the same time as this. I also post other content. I hope you can check it out as well. Also, thank you so much for your patience. I truly appreciate it. I know I don't write the fastest, so thank you so much for taking the time to write your name. Shout out to Finn. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Finn Shamoon. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Belina. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Annalise. Shout out to Gael. Shout out to Yoon Jun. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to, is it Dag? Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Melanie. Shout out to Gatlin. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Yeep. Shout out to Marcelo. Shout out to Solette. Shout out to Olivia. Shout out to Rylan. Shout out to Bianca. Shout out to La Ling. Shout out to Sydney. Shout out to Zara. Shout out to Krista. Shout out to Cade. Shout out to Avi. I'm gonna put Kate again because I kind of messed up. Shout out to Mari or Mary. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Faith. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Dustin. Shout out to Danny. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Jask. Shout out to Laura. Shout out to Lyric. Shout out to Alisa or Alyssa. Shout out to Elena. Shout out to Felix. Shout out to Kamoira. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Avery. Shout out to Nico. Shout out to Jamal. Shout out to Maggie. Shout out to Hayden. Shout out to Caitlin. Shout out to Reagan. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Melody. Shout out to Josh. Shout out to Parker. Shout out to Lyra. Shout out to Ariana. Shout out to Amelia. Shout out to Kari. Shout out to Anushka. Shout out to Yunche. Shout out to Amia or Amaya. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Clara. Shout out to Kari. Shout out to Bia. Shout out to Lakin. Shout out to Braxton. Shout out to Kim. Shout out to Natalia. Shout out to Kari. Shout out to Hope. Shout out to Layla. Shout out to Richie. Shout out to Atik. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Dustin. Shout out to Grace. Shout out to Preston. Shout out to Sky. Shout out to Mariah. Shout out to Kari. Shout out to Kate. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Benjamin. Shout out to Daniela. Shout out to Abigail. Shout out to Cam. Shout out to Kira or Kyra. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Rue. Shout out to Aurora. Shout out to Luna. Shout out to Nathan. Shout out to Liliana. Shout out to Raylene. Whoops, I messed up. Shout out to Raylene. There we go. Shout out to JC. Shout out to Tiana. Shout out to Alyssa. Shout out to Melanie. Shout out to Gustavo. Shout out to Japraj. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Cassandra. Shout out to Cameron. Shout out to Adriana. Shout out to Lalita. Shout out to Stella. Shout out to these people. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the live stream. I live stream every day around the same time as this. Thank you so much for being here. Also, please check out my channel. I post other content, content like this, especially with Valentine's Day coming up. I do DIYs like Valentine cards, tutorials. I hope you can check it out. And I hope you can support my channel. I would truly appreciate it. It would mean a lot to me. I also do other type of tutorials like this. I hope you can check it out. Please support my channel. I would truly appreciate it. Your support means the world to me. Thank you so much for taking the time to write your name here. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you all next time. Take care, everyone. Bye.